Welcome to Relatable Wisdom, where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their hearts and minds, offering you gentle wisdom to carry into your own daily journey. Today I'm joined by Reeya Banerjee, a songwriter and storyteller from New Jersey who weaves personal experience into lush, emotionally resonant songs. With a classic rock soul and power pop pulse, she transforms memory, loss, and healing into melodies that feel like living inside someone's ear's story. So let's settle in and discover the words that have guided Reeya's creative spirit. Hey, tell us your name and what you
My name is Reeya Banerjee, and I am a musician. I think of myself as a songwriter and a storyteller. And I am based in New Jersey. I lived in New York for many years, and now I live in New Jersey.
Okay. What's your favorite quote?
The one that pops to mind, and I have to say that I can't confirm exactly when he said this, but Bruce Springsteen once said, "The best music is essentially there to provide you something to face the world with." Again, this kind of floats around in the Bruce Springsteen fan universe, and I've been looking to see exactly when he said it or where he said it, but it's out there. And it is something that kind of feels true to everything. It feels true to everything that he's written as a musician, and also just kind of what I'm about as a musician as well.
Why does this quote resonate with you?
So this came to me, it might have been when his book came out. He wrote his autobiography a few years ago, and that's probably when this quote was circulating around. And that's when I was going through um kind of a very dark period of my life. My personal life was kind of unraveling, and my professional life, this is back before I was doing music full time, and I was kind of going through a bit of a career slump. And just kind of felt like the whole world was falling apart. And, music for me has always been something that music is not just expression for me, it's almost like survival. So this quote stuck with me because it captured what I was starting to believe as I was pulling myself out of that dark space and getting more involved with creating music and making music and not just being some sort of corporate cog in corporate America. It was a way for me to survive. So the way I look at it is, at its best, music gives us something to hold on to. So, and that's again, that's just sort of how my music career has how do I put it?
Evolved.
How it's
Yeah.
evolved as well. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how it's evolved. It started out as something that I did for myself, and it was very personal and it was very cathartic. And then I had people that I could share it with, who I could make music with, and that opened up my world a little bit. I found people who kind of became like chosen family, and that was, something that helped me pull through this very dark period of my life. And then a lot of the music that I write and I create now, the way I think about it is I try to write songs and tell stories and be the kind of person in the world that I wish had been there to give me support and advice when I needed it. So that's kind of how I try to pay it forward. So that's why this quote sticks with me, because it just reminds me that music was something that I could hold on to and get me through a dark spot, and then I can make music as well, and hopefully that music can touch somebody else and make them feel like they can hold on to it and they can move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, music. I just wanted to talk generally on music before I come back to the quote. What do you think makes music so special? Well, one could just say it's just sound. Like there's nothing so special. We're just trying to make everything look deep and sound deep.
I mean, I guess depends on how you look. I mean, I wouldn't, there's some music that's just there to be fun and make people happy and it sounds good. And then, there's other music that's, maybe trying to be deep and poetic and introspective. And then there's, music that's just, like you said, is just sound, it's just something that's there that you can have in the background, but for me, the kind of music that I write and the kind of music that I like to listen to is something that's trying to say something, is trying to tell a story. Now, the story doesn't have to be particularly deep or sad or anything. It can be a happy story, it can be a silly story, but it's something that kind of draws me in and makes me want to pay attention. And so I mean, I think that's not just music. I feel like any art in the world, if it's there and it's out there and it moves somebody, whether it makes them cry or laugh or feel like they're being seen or feel like, oh, I'm listening to this and I'm understanding myself more by listening to this, whatever it does that moves them, that's what makes the art good. And that's what I mean. Like it can be silly too. Like, for example, my family, I was born in the United States, but my parents are from India. They came to the States in 1977. So I grew up watching Bollywood movies a lot, Hindi movies, and a lot of them are very silly and fluffy and romantic comedies and unrealistic and, just kind of goofy. But, they were fun to watch. And, as somebody growing up as a minority in the United States, being able to see movies starring actors who looked like me as opposed to a bunch of white people. That was meaningful in its way, just to look at a screen and see people who look like me reflected back at me in a movie. And so a lot of people might say, silly Bollywood movies aren't good art, but I think they are good art because they gave me something that I could hold on to and something that helped me feel recognized and acknowledged in the world. So that's a very weird tangent to go from music to Bollywood, but that's
Yeah,
that's kind
yeah,
of where
yeah.
it's kind of where
Yeah, no,
me.
it's not weird. Like, because when I recently, it's it's good you brought it up because recently I was thinking, I was like, most movies they are like, you know how certain ingredients on its own you could eat it, but then you combine it with with another recipe and it becomes a different meal. Just the same thing with movies, right? They combine music, they combine dancing, they combine a lot of things. Everything is sprinkled in that. You now have this movie, and the movie tells a story. It's inspiring and it's just fun to watch, right? Now, of course, every
Yeah.
industry has terrible movies. Let's get that straight. Every industry, Hollywood,
This is very
all the
true.
industries, whatever country, they have terrible movies. But then there are also some other really really good movies. I watch some Indian movies, and when I see terrible Indian movies, I'm like, yeah, just like every industry, yes, terrible movies. And then
Yeah. I mean,
when I see really really good
no, go ahead.
when I see really really good movies, and I'm like, yeah, because the thing is, I don't know something about Indian music, right? It's just I feel like they invest more in the music rather than the movie because sometimes the music is just da-na-na, 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 and then the lyrics when you actually read the lyrics, I'm like, this stuff is poetic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. There are a lot of There are a lot of Bollywood movies that I think are like objectively very bad movies. Like you're saying, some movies are just bad, but they have really good music, like really beautiful music and like beautiful, like poetic lyrics. If you really take it out of the movie, take it out of a bad movie and you just listen to the song as itself and you understand, you read and I speak Hindi, so I understand the lyrics, but even if you didn't, you sat down and you look at the translation or you look at the subtitles when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, this is a really beautiful song. It's in a very silly terrible movie, but this song stands on its own. And you know, there's a lot of some of my favorite Bollywood songs are from movies that you couldn't pay me enough money to watch again because they're that bad. But the song is good, and I'll
Yeah,
always remember the song.
yeah.
So
Every,
yeah, it's a good point you make too. It's like any industry, any movie industry, there's going to be good movies and there's going to be terrible movies. It's the same as Hollywood. It's the same
yeah,
as anywhere. And
yeah. It's
it's
everywhere. Yeah, and I feel like because Indian has a lot of population, like Indians, like yeah,
Mhm.
very. But because of the bigger the country, right? I just feel like it makes common sense that the bigger the country, the more movies will be made.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So because of that, because the more movies will be made, the probability that a lot of terrible movies will be made will just be. And same same thing compared to
Yeah, no, it's very true.
a smaller
Good
country
point.
or smaller industry where like just a couple of persons making uh I feel like if a country is populated, every industry by default just becomes big.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
this is true.
yeah,
That's a very good point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is a good thing because it's good for business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
When we now that we're talking about movies and music, I just remember Hans Zimmer, the composer
Oh,
of
yes.
of Interstellar. And every time I watch Interstellar, there's just something about his. I just watch and I listen to the. There's this. feeling that the music does to the heart, like it pulls you in. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's very it's like it's kind of it's how do I put it? It's like meditative, but it's also very intense at the same time. So it's not like meditative like, oh, I'm gonna zen out and drift away into sleep. It's not that kind of meditative, but it's like, it's beautiful to listen to, and I can listen to Hans Zimmer soundtracks on their own as well, just independent of a movie as well, because it's just beautiful music. But it is very intense, like you said. It catches something in your, just like it catches something in your heart and your gut or something like that, and it pulls you in. He's a really, really great, one of my favorite movie composers, I think, of all time, especially now.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
for
Interstellar.
for me, what brought my interest in movie music was one time I was just like walking on my own, and there was this news that I don't know the channel, but they were just reading the news, and they said one of this composer was dead, and then they mentioned the movie, and if I mention the movie, you know the movie. It's called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and you know that
Of
that
course,
da da
yeah.
da dun dun
Yep.
dun,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and
So famous. It's very iconic. Yeah.
tin, 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 tin. And I'm like, I was like, wow, I know this sound. Because the thing about that sound is that a lot of radio stations, TV stations, they steal that sound and they use it for their productions. And so you hear the sound, you're like, yeah, I know the sound. I'm like, I didn't know it was from the
Right. No, exactly. It becomes its own, almost has its own life outside of the movie at
yeah.
this point because it's so famous. But yeah, no, that's a good that's it's when I was in school, when I was in university, I was studying, I actually we're talking about movies, and it probably makes sense that we're talking about movies because I studied film. I studied cinema in
Oh,
college.
that's brilliant.
Um Yeah, and so that's and one of my favorite classes I took when I was in college was all about the use of music in movies, and that was one of the movies we looked at, the good, bad, the bad, and the ugly, because it does have that very very famous, that very very famous soundtrack, the very famous moment that sort of gets lodged into people's minds, and that's one of the things that I think is really cool about the way music and movies can interact is, I mean, like you were saying this earlier, like the ingredients, you put them together and it can take something and make it so much more meaningful, and deepen your understanding of what's happening in the story. If the music is doing what it's supposed to do, it pulls you into the story more and makes you feel like you're more involved,
Yeah.
or more invested, in what's going on.
Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation. Yeah,
So,
I've always looked at the philosophical importance of music when I can't remember the play I was reading. It was one of William Shakespeare's, and he said a quote where it was like, I'm just paraphrasing. I can't remember the exact words, but it's something like music for the soul, something like play on, something like that. And there was one part.
oh yes,
Can you remember it?
music be the soul. Yeah, music be the soul of love. Play on, I
Yeah,
think.
something like
I can't
yeah.
remember which
But
play,
I know there's a
but I
mix
know
of
I know
love
what
too.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
and
exactly.
there was another one. He said that something like be wary or fear the man that doesn't listen to music, something like that. And I was like, why would you fear the
Yeah.
man that doesn't listen to music? And I was like, yeah, what's so strange about not listening to music? And it's just one of those thoughts I just lodged in my head, and I'm like, wow, is there anyone that doesn't listen to music? And I'm like, yeah,
That's a really good point. I remember a long time ago when I was very young, I was I was visiting. It was like we were in school. We were all hanging out at somebody's house after school or whatever. And this kid was, he had a room. We were hanging out in his room. He didn't have any posters up on his wall or any decorations or anything like that. It was just like his desk and his bed. And I was just kind of like, oh, this is very sparse, very barren. I'm almost like a monk lives here or something. And then we were all like just talking. And I remember he said, at some point he was like, "Oh, I don't listen to music." We were all talking about what's your favorite music, who's your favorite artist, what's your favorite song, and he was like, "Oh, I don't listen to music." And it wasn't like he was saying I hate music or I don't, it wasn't even if he said, "Oh, I don't like music," I mean, again, I don't know. I don't even know if I would have responded well if he said I don't like music. But saying I don't listen to music, because I was just like, my mind was a little bit like, I'm like, you don't even listen to it? What do you do? Like it is, like you said, it is unusual to think of somebody who just doesn't have music in their life, even if it's just something as simple as like, oh, they've got their headphones on and they're listening while they're walking down the street or whatever, like somebody who just says, I don't listen to music. That's peculiar. I don't think I've ever, except for that one kid when I was young, I've never met anybody who says that. So,
Yeah, I mean, when someone says they don't listen to music, for me, I'm like, okay, you don't listen to music. It's way different from, yeah. If you play music, I'll listen to it. It's interesting. I like it,
mhm,
but I don't go out of my way to start playing music and putting music, on my phone, and like I don't go out of my way to do that. But it doesn't mean that I don't like music or stuff like that. But because I don't listen to music
right.
that often, I don't have a favorite necessary. But then I've never seen this set of people. I feel like there will be someone who say, I hate.
See, I feel like if I met somebody who said that, I wouldn't be able to be their friend. I wouldn't even be able to talk to them. I feel like we don't have anything to talk about. Not like, I wouldn't be mean, but I'd be like, I don't have any, there's no like point of, there's no way into a conversation with somebody like that who hates music. I can't imagine somebody who hates music. I'm sure they're out there. I've been lucky enough never to find them.
Like the possibility of finding someone, it's just, I feel like I can't even wrap my head around. I get it that you hate a certain genre of music, like, oh, I hate rap music. I understand that part, but not I hate music. Anything music, I don't
All
want to
music.
hear
Yeah.
anything about music that has sound or melody. Don't play it. And I'm like, what's going on? You have a lot of healing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of childhood trauma we have to deal with right now. If possible, we can get 5 therapists because one will not be enough to do the job. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
true. Oh man.
yeah,
I love that. I'm gonna remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. Because this is so intense. Because I feel like when he starts to release all those things he has been bottling up, that might be too overwhelming for one person to. So we need someone to
Yeah.
help with this. Something
Yeah.
must have gone wrong.
Yeah.
Because how can you tell me you hate it?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's the thing with music is like because for me, and I can't speak for everybody in the world, but for me, music is very, like you're saying, it's very tied up in emotion and feeling and stuff like that. So like you're saying, if somebody came and said, I don't like music, I'd be like, oh man, you must be bottling some stuff in. Like you're saying, there's a lot of stuff you haven't thought about that might want to address,
Yeah, I
might want to talk
I
to.
could think of a circumstance where, let's say someone had, the love of their life, yet they really loved the love of their life, and he was a musician, right? Right. So even
Mhm.
the mere mention of music, just how our brain connects things, right? There's certain words I'll mention, right? I'll give an example. I don't know what the profession of your dad would have been, but if we're just having a conversation and I just mention that word, guess what will happen? You just think of your dad, like it just pops up. It's like relations, right? And the same thing with
Yeah.
words. And let's say that the love of their life, for some reason, something tragic happened, right? And every time they hear music, they hear musician, anything that has to do with it reminds them of that pain, and for that reason
Yeah.
they hate music. So it's not like they hate music. It's just, yeah,
Yeah, they hate the pain, the memory, the grief and all that stuff. That's what it brings up.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that makes
yeah.
sense. Yeah, but that's not again, like I said, that's not somebody
They
saying
hate
I hate
music.
music for music.
Yeah, yeah. It has nothing
Yeah,
to do with
or
music.
yeah, it has more to do with I hate music because it reminds me of a
Yeah,
very
yeah,
painful experience.
yeah.
Um,
I get that.
so yeah, no, that's yeah. A lot of the music that I write is about, memory and nostalgia and stuff like that. So I also like I think about music in terms of this project that I'm promoting right now is basically it's an album of 9 songs that are about, different places I've lived in my life and different like the core emotion and memory that I feel about my time living there. And a lot of it is just filtered through memory and nostalgia. And some of it is about stuff that's painful and that maybe I don't want to think about because something really sad happened or something really traumatic happened, or, or maybe just it was very boring. I don't want to think about it because why. But it's kind of accessing those emotions and trying to put that out there. And again, like I was saying before, hopefully, if art is good, it moves somebody. So my hope is the art I put in the world is moving somebody.
Yeah, I'm going to do something because all through this conversation, it
Okay.
just occurred to me that wait, you're having a conversation with a musician. And I'm like, I'm having a conversation with a musician. You're talking about music is not something you talk about. You feel it. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I'll have to
that's
ask her to
true.
sing.
Yeah, you could ask me to sing. Oh man. Oh, you're
ah,
putting me on the spot.
ah, ah.
What is that serious? Is that an actual request? I mean, I can if you're
It,
going to put me on the spot. I'll
it's
do it.
natural. You tell me. Can you fulfill the?
Well, I think I have to now.
Okay.
You put it out there. Do you have a request? Do you want me to sing something of my own,
Yeah, but yeah. Since
or
you're promoting your song, I'd love for you to sing your.
oh man, I don't even have. I was like, oh, do I have all my guitars are put away.
Ah,
I'm just gonna
ah.
have to sing off. You're gonna have to deal with just my voice.
Is the
Let me.
Is the guitar very far, like very far? Because I feel like I'm about to get the
It's
experience of one in.
Oh no, it's packed away in a closet. I'd have to
Oh.
go. We'd have to turn off the podcast, and I'd have to go dig and pull it out and tune it up. And so that's
I'm
give you
sad.
all the
I'm
entire
sad.
experience.
You're making me cry
But I
right
could
now.
I can just sing if you want me to sing. I can sing a portion of
I
something just to sing it.
mean,
It'll be a full experience, but I can do it.
okay.
I think what would be the easiest thing to do. The most recent single I put out is a song called "For the First Time." It kind of goes like it goes, "Hey, is there a place I could work a while on the person I'd like to be someday? Closed, I keep it closed, a quiet smile. If I'm talkative, I'll be exposed. Suddenly I'm open to burning bright. I'm getting it. Won't go unnoticed for the first time." That's probably all I should do. I mean, I could keep going, but I don't know how much fun it is without the music. But that's a little taste, just a little taste.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you put me on the spot. I'm glad I was able to deliver.
I just got a private performance and I didn't get to pay for it.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ria. I was
Thank you.
yeah, I'm trying to imagine what it would have sounded like if there was a guitar and all the other things there. Dun, 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 dun,
Good.
dun.
Yeah. If do you have Spotify, Pandora, all that,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
Apple Music?
I
I'm you can find that song is out. If you look me up, you can find that song and you can get the full
what's
experience.
it's your name the same as the name you on screen.
It's my name, Reeya Banerjee. Yep,
Okay.
and it's out basically everywhere. Any streaming platform you like, you can find it. That one I just did is called "For the First Time." That's the most recent song that I put out.
Yeah.
So you got the little pre-show here. You can
Okay.
go check it out
Uh,
and get the full experience.
I'll ask this now since we've had the conversation about it, so it's not coming out of the. Do you have any
Mhm.
songs in?
Oh. Well, I don't write songs in Hindi, but I know a lot of, again, from Bollywood movies. I know a lot of
Your
Hindi
own
songs.
songs? Like, do you have any of your songs that you release that's this is a Indian song or a
Oh,
mix of Indian?
I don't. No, I haven't. I want to at some point because the thing about, I say I speak Hindi, but when I say I speak Hindi, I speak what I think my family and a lot of people say is Hinglish. It's like a combination of Hindi and English, which
Ah,
I
ah,
most then we'll pepper in an American word here and there. I've always thought about writing a song in Hinglish that's kind of about that experience of being of two cultures kind of merged together. But it's hard. It's hard because I wouldn't know how to rhyme it. My my primary language is English, so it would take me a long time to sit down and try to figure out how to make everything rhyme properly and sound good. But it's definitely something I would like to try.
Yeah,
But it's definitely it would be asking my brain to think about music in a completely different way. Which would be a fun challenge, but it would it definitely would be something that might take me a few months or a year
it's hard,
to work on.
but it's not
Yeah.
impossible. Yeah, you can.
No, I'm glad you put it out there because challenge accepted. Next time I talk to you,
Yeah, that's true. We should have you
have
back
an
on the
English song
podcast.
ready. Yeah, I'll have an English song. I'll have my guitar ready, and we'll give you the whole. I'll give you the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You've given me something to, you've given me something to
When should
ponder.
I reach out? Because I don't trust you enough to reach out to me. I know I feel like after this podcast, you just go on with your life, forget, and it's not it's not like
No,
anything wrong with it.
I can't forget you. No, this has been great. I love this. This is one of the most fun conversations I've had. No, you can, you know what? If you know what, if you want to hold me to it, if you want to hold me accountable, today is June 21st, where I am. You're ahead of me.
Yeah.
Today is June 21st. How about you check in with me on September 21st
Okay.
and see where I am? I'm going to write that down. I'm going to start working on it. You check in with me and you see how far I've gotten.
Okay.
And I will try to have some for you by then. How about
I'll do
that?
that.
Does that sound
I'll
like
add the dates to my list of. Okay.
okay?
Thank you so much, Ria. It's been an absolute light chat.
All right. Thank you too. This is so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Where can listeners learn more about you and what you do? And
The best place to find me would be on my website, which is www.reeyabanerjee.com. It's being updated slowly with all the new stuff. You can also, again, if you find me, like I said before, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, all those streaming services, Tidal. I don't know if anybody uses Tidal, but any place where you can stream music, Amazon Music, you should be able to find me as well. But if you want to learn more about me as a person, you can check out my website.
oh,
But if you're only into the music, you can into the music. I'm not offended either way, whichever way you choose.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Relatable Wisdom, and I've been your host, Wisdom Okonkwo. You've been listening to the podcast where every story, quote, and insight helps you see life a little differently. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share it with someone who loved the conversation. For more inspiring voices and timeless wisdom, visit relatablewisdom.com. Until next time, keep living, learning, and collecting wisdom that matters most to you.